Tensions high, hearts racing, and guns drawn. This intense moment caught on a cell phone camera as Vidor police tried to de-escalate the situation. The gunman's goal to provoke a suicide by cop. That is our top story tonight. Thank you for joining me. I'm Dejanique Garrison. Well, a close call for Vidor police officers. Chief Rod Carroll tells us a man tried to coax police into killing him by pointing a shotgun at those officers. This video began circulating on social media. Police say the incident started as a domestic dispute on the 1900 block of Chin-Capin Drive. The officers then de-escalated the situation without using deadly force. 12 News reporter Juan Rodriguez has details on this intense confrontation.
Put that gun down, you crazy. Put that gun down.
Intense moments. An armed man makes his way towards police officers.
Come out with a gun in the middle of the road, pointed it at the officers, and had knives in his hand.
Another police officer sneaks up behind the man, and he gets tased.
By law, the officers were justified in using deadly force. It hurts. Yeah, you know.
But they didn't. Still, the situation takes a toll on those involved.
You know, I have a job to do. And the last thing I want my family to do is worry about the job that I'm doing on a daily basis.
This encounter was an emotional one for Chief Rod Carroll, who recalls his biggest fear in the line of duty.
Any police chief, the worst day in his life is the day he has to knock on the door and notify a family member.
This incident happened Tuesday night at around 7:30.
He picked the gun up out of the road.
And for Dewey Smith, it's alarming to see this happen so close to home.
I told him, I said, throw the gun down, they're gonna kill you. I was scared of his life and their life, but more his life. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You never know. Put that gun down, you crazy.
A man is now given another chance to live, as police officers never forget a scary situation.
The officers, they handle themselves real good. I mean, real good.
You go to work every day planning on coming home to your family, but no one's promised tomorrow, and that goes for any career.
That's about a dumb.
Now, Chief Carroll tells me that the man was transported to Baptist Hospital, where he was then admitted for mental health evaluation. Now, he says that the district attorney's office will then take over this case to see if the man with the shotgun will face any charges. In studio, Juan Rodriguez, 12 News.
Thanks, Juan. So what is suicide by cop? That term is slang used by members of law enforcement to refer to suicidal individuals. Now, oftentimes these individuals will deliberately get themselves in a confrontation with an officer. They will act in such a way that a cop is left with no choice but to shoot them in order to defend themselves or to keep others in the area safe. People who attempt this sort of behavior do so to avoid killing themselves. And here are some stats on suicide by cop instances. According to Health Research Funding, 90% of suicide by cop victims were white males. They most often carry weapons such as guns, but only half of the weapons are loaded at the time of the incident. Now, around 17% actually used fake weapons. Nearly the same amount attempted suicide by cop due to something involving their children. And when females did attempt this sort of suicide, about half were white, with more than 40% of them identifying as single with children. Suicide is always horrible, but suicide by cop leaves two victims, the law enforcement individual as well as the person who provokes the shooting. In all incidents of suicide by cop, the person that attempts the suicide dies. Law enforcement agencies are doing their best to train officers to spot these sorts of incidents or potential incidents before they happen. Often, medical professionals do not recognize this as a real form of suicide. And a really important note, if you or anyone you know is battling depression and have suicidal thoughts, you can always turn to the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. That number is 1-800-273-8255.